Today on 60 Minutes, we take a look at the living conditions in mental hospitals. While government officials have argued that the living conditions in these hospitals are compliant with requirements, inmates have argued that the conditions are not livable.
To begin this investigation, we spoke with registered psychiatric patients Randall McMurphy and Chief Bromden, who have kindly agreed to share their opinions about the conditions that patients currently face in mental hospitals. Mr. McMurphy, Mr. Bromden, thank you for taking the time to meet with me today.
No worries.
So, Chief, what are your opinions of Nurse Ratched?
Go on, Chief.
She makes me feel small.
I think what Chief means to say is that Big Nurse is a bit oppressive. She has this tendency to flex her metaphorical muscle as much as possible.
Why is that?
Why is that? I'll tell you why. It's because she breaks us down with pills and lobotomies.
Yeah, and the fog machine too.
Fog?
Yeah, the fog.
There is no fog, Chief.
Anyway, moving on. Mr. McMurphy, what's your opinion of Nurse Ratched?
Actually, I happen to admire Nurse Ratched. She runs a tight ship and does a damn good job about it.
Do you agree, Chief?
I've been living here for nearly 10 years now. I think it's safe to say she's the aunt I never asked for.
Interesting. Lastly, for those of you who don't know, Mr. McMurphy died suspiciously last week. Mr. McMurphy, how exactly did you die?
Well, Chief killed me.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I saw you do it.
No, it was Candy, I swear.
Chief, I was there. Well, not physically or mentally, but that's besides the point. I saw you do it.
Well, I think we'll end on that uplifting note. Thank you for joining me, gentlemen.
We then spoke with a particularly troubled patient from the same psychiatric ward, Billy Bibbett. Mr. Bibbett, thank you for joining us tonight.
Pleasure, my friend.
We're really sorry to hear you committed suicide earlier this week, but we're glad that you were able to take time out of your spiritual journey to join us.
At any time.
Mr. Bibbett, you have just seen the comments that your fellow patients Art P. McMurphy and Chief Brahman made concerning the conditions in the ward. Do you agree with their statements?
Absolutely. Nurse Ratched has consistently used her power to control my actions.
How so, Mr. Bibbett?
Well, for one, she happens to know my mother. She never fails to remind me of this when I happen to get into trouble.
So she uses family connections to force you to behave?
Exactly. She bullies her patients.
Could you elaborate?
She threatens people by using subjects that can cause them discomfort. For me, that would be my mother. She blackmails me by threatening to tell my mother about my behavior.
Now, it says here that you voluntarily stay at the ward despite the conditions you live in. Why is that?
My mom said that I'm not ready yet. I also believe I'm not strong enough to face the outside world, to tell the truth. I like the ward. All of my friends are here, and it is away from my mom.
I also heard that you had sexual relations with a girl named Candy. Care to comment on that?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so that concludes our interview with Mr. Vivid. Thank you for your time. Lastly, we talked to Nurse Ratchet, head nurse at her ward, and asked her for her response to these allegations, as well as her opinion about the conditions in mental hospitals. Nurse, thank you for joining us this evening.
Oh, why, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So, Nurse Ratchet, what types of treatment do you provide for patients at your hospital?
We have two common treatment methods on my ward: medication and psychotherapy. Patients on my ward receive medication on a daily basis and must all adhere to their specific medication regimens. One way or another, my staff and I ensure that all patients take their medication. We use psychotherapy quite often on the ward as well. Every afternoon, our patients and doctors and I meet for group therapy sessions where patients can share their personal thoughts and feelings with each other. In some severe cases, the doctors and I decide that the best course of action is to subject the patient to electroshock therapy or conduct a lobotomy.
I see. And how effective would you say these treatment methods are?
Well, I'd say they're incredibly effective. We consistently see exponential growth in reasoning and judgment-making abilities of the patients, while also noticing a decline in misbehavior. They transform into functional members of society.
Really? Are you aware that many of your patients whom I have spoken to believe you have no regard for their well-being and claim that you constantly mistreat them?
Oh, no, I had no idea about this. I do what I think will be better for my patients in the long term. I always treat my patients with only the best intentions, and I would never jeopardize their health.
Of course. As any nurse, all you want for your patients is what's best for them. Another one of your patients also mentioned that you are oppressive. How do you respond to these accusations?
I think what my patient meant to say is that I keep the ward very orderly and structured. To keep my hospital running smoothly, I sometimes impose myself on my patients to keep them in line, but I believe I treat them fairly. If I were lenient with my patients, the order I have so tirelessly worked to establish in my ward would crumble, and my patients would have no reason to behave and take their medications.
I see. Well, thank you for joining us.
Interesting. Lastly, Mr. McMurphy, how exactly did you die?
I think you're asking the wrong guy.
This is prime time rapping. You see what goes down. We're done here. It's a wrap. Champion Hot just won that. Cool him down. Cool him down. Look, killed another opponent. I'm not a rapper though.